Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21 and we are starting our second season within the career mode with the Aprilia team, and it's time for the official test here in Malaysia for Sepang. So starting up first on board the Aprilia RSGP, we are going to be continuing on with our original package from last season that we were able to win the World Championship on, of course. So it's best to start off with the same bike from last year, look at then the components that are going to be new, and then compare them with the data. Now, for first things first, I guess really needs to be mentioned, it's been a while since I've jumped on board this Aprilia, and just like they do in real life, of course they do have an absence from the sport, and they have a little bit of time off. For myself, I went on to Ride 4 a little bit more often, and of course, I went into Moto E to do a little bit of a World Championship in that as well. But this season, getting back to MotoGP, it's going to be awesome. I know you guys really enjoyed the career mode, and I still get a lot of comments and people still catching up with the previous episodes and the previous seasons, but trying to do the double with Aprilia is going to be something else. It's going to be one heck of a challenge. I don't expect it to come easy at all. I think a lot of riders are going to be improving, and I think we've got to improve as well. I think I'm going to be a little bit sluggish at first, and then once I get back into it, once I've got the groove going with this Aprilia RSGP, I think we'll be in line for another fantastic season, possibly even better than last season, of course. So as you've seen already, you've seen the pictures probably already. I hope you have. If you haven't, you can check out my community post. You'll get better looks at my new look, effectively the brand new helmet. Still rocking the number 47. I know this was very, very divisive, honestly. They went right down to the wire. At one point it was bang on 50-50 votes. 50% said use number 1 plate. 50% said use number 47, but in this instance 47 did take the lead towards the very end, and I think it finished with a 52% ratio in the favour of 47 and 48 going to the way of the number 1. But the first lap is about to be completed here on the 2021 package. I'm going to say the 2022, yes, it's still 2021 because of course the game only goes up to 2021. But still, a little bit of a change. Of course, we've got the blue gloves, the brand new helmet, and the yellow Dainese boots. In fact, the yellow boots were still the same, it's just we changed the knee sliders to the yellow. So the first lap, not great. A 2-minute 004 is not going to really break down any barriers. Frankie Morbidelli at the top of the timing, as it stands right now, with the 1:59.098. But Sector 1 we did find in the Grand Prix, and we did find in the winter testing last season. Sector 1 and Sector 2 is especially where we were the quickest going into those sectors. So expect to try and take advantage into those sectors and possibly lose a little bit towards the end. Now, I'm not sure what to do in the sense of packages. I've not really got an idea yet until we start testing out the other packages, but I think I'm looking for something with a bit more oomph this season. A couple of tracks we tend to struggle on just because we didn't have that poke that we really, really desired. Now, last season we made the critical change within Catalonia in the official test there for the summer testing, and we made that critical decision to change to a more stable and nimble motorcycle, and that was huge for the championship. Upon that sort of change, we were right there with it, and we were very competitive from the get-go. Of course, the issue I have, and probably, I'm not sure, I mean, we sorted it out towards the end of the season, but still, we did struggle with qualifying. Let's be honest, we struggled with qualifying a heck of a lot. I'm really hoping we can put that to bed and hopefully improve upon that, because it just wasn't good enough, and we really, really need to get that right. A bit like Joan Mir this season in MotoGP in real life, you can't have the same success when you keep qualifying so low down. Qualifying in MotoGP is as hard as it's ever been with the 15-minute sessions, and of course the level of talent of the most competitive championship in World Championship bike racing in general. But now, just talking roughly about the qualifying sessions, only 2 pole positions were to our name last season, Misano and Motegi. That was it. Now, Motegi was a bit of a gift, to be quite honest with you. We were pretty much only there because everyone was crashing out. It was rather bizarre, but I'm still quite happy with it. And of course, the actual race victories and the podiums is what matters last season. Now, 7 victories to our name last season from Le Mans, Sachsenring, Austria, Misano, Motegi, Thailand. The back-to-back-to-back victories, of course, was something special. And of course, Malaysia here like we are right now here today. Now, it's a great season, 50% of podiums last season as well, 10 podiums out of the possible 20. A solid performance which has, of course, resulted in the MotoGP World Championship. But one thing I really want to improve upon, and that is to take more pole positions, or at least get on the front row a little bit more often. Qualifying is so crucial and we have to get it done. I'm looking towards a possible pole position within the first 4 rounds. If we don't get anywhere near the front row, then I'm going to be a bit concerned. We can't be qualifying in Q1 all the time and staying down in the bottom, because that's just not good enough. But this also takes me to my next point, and this is going to be crucial for the Grand Prix, or at least for the first 2 Grand Prix in this next season. Now, I have decided what championship I'm going to run, and I'm going to run the sort of changed and revised calendar, as in not the official 2021 that we would have had until all the virus stuff occurred. So basically we are going to go for the Qatar 1 and Qatar 2 start. Austin has been removed, and of course we also lose Argentina as well. So bear in mind that we are going to lose some Grand Prix, but we're also going to gain an extra Qatar GP, which of course for me was quite possibly my worst GP of the whole season. In fact, there's no two ways about it. It was indeed my worst performance of last season, and the fact that we're going to do it twice this season is going to be an absolute challenge and a half. It really is. But enough about that for the time being, because we've just finished our final lap in Pack 2, which of course was the original chassis and package we were using last season. Now we're moving over to Package 1. Now Package 1 is all about a lower performance in the sense of power, but better stability once again. Now of course the decision we made in Catalonia last season was to also do the same. Ditch the extra power and just go with absolute solid stability and easy manoeuvrability. Is this going to be the one we need this season? Who knows? Let's find out with a few laps here in Malaysia. So we do have Danilo Petrucci ahead of us, who's just gone wide, and actually, never mind, we don't have Danilo Petrucci ahead of us anymore. The KTM has just gone careening into the distance there. Not sure what's happening in this session. And ever since maybe Mazzano, maybe before that, maybe in the last season, the AI are having a terrible time in the practice and qualifying sessions for the sense of crashes and just performing badly. But now onto the right side for turn 7, we are up by, or down by 0.3 of a second to Jorge Martin's time of a 1:58.703. Now the last winter test we did, I do believe we got into the 1:57s. We were absolutely rapid last season and the conditions seem relatively the same. But unfortunately, we're not quite the same for us in the sense of performance and speed as of yet. Still running my usual electronics with TCS3, anti-wheelie on 4, engine braking on 4, and of course for this session only, power setting 3 is applied. So now onto the right side, we've got 13. We've got to improve a hell of a lot on this lap, only losing roughly 0.3 of a second to Jorge Martin's time. I do see Fabio Quartararo at the top of your picture there as well, or at least almost at the top, with a red sector in the first one, and the same can be said for the Australian at the back of the grid right now, Jack Miller, with a red sector in the first one. So now going wide for turn 15, ran it a little bit too deep, not exactly how I planned, but once we pick up the power we should still have a good exit and be able to improve our lap time. So across the line we will go, and it's going to be an improvement as Jorge Martin has just crashed, as we now only go down by 0.3 of a second in a bit of a KTM sandwich right now. Miguel Oliveira ahead of us with Petrucci and Binder 2 positions behind. There's a strewn motorcycle in the middle of the track there, not sure whose that is. Perhaps that was Jorge Martin's, but what a horrible place to crash at. So look at all the bikes just everywhere. What is going on in this testing session? I've never seen this many crashes in a testing session before, so I'm not sure what's going on. But so far, Pack 1 obviously much better than Pack 2, the original pack, of course, from 2021. And now trying this one from 2021 too, if that makes sense. Or just say 2022 maybe, I'm not entirely sure. But the new season package, the Package 1, is doing much better as things stand. Now I am really keen to see who improves and who doesn't, because after testing last season we've seen some riders such as Rossi and maybe a few more, like Morbidelli I think, they sort of moved up the pack a little bit and they actually were quite competitive towards the end of the season. I'm not sure if that actually is an effect or if maybe it's just luck. I'm not entirely sure, but it did seem that the AI got a little bit better for certain riders and some riders went worse. So Johan Zarco is a great example of that. He just sort of disappeared towards the end of the season, went really negative and just didn't do well. And then Pecco Bagnaia seemed to rise to the top and push me to the end towards the end of the championship. And honestly, last season's championship was incredible. It was really amazing. So I'm hoping for anything like that once again. If not, even more competitive. But I am rather concerned with the 2 Qatar Grand Prix. I'm going to have to dig down deep to make sure we can improve and do better. I'm already pretty confident thinking that we're going to do better because, of course, better bikes, better sense of confidence, got a year under our belt in the sense of MotoGP, but I hope my Moto E experience isn't going to rub off negatively. I do feel like I'm not braking and attacking the corners the same way I was compared to last season before I tried Moto E. Now that'll suffice for package 1 because I am really keen to try package number 3. There is a interesting part about this package number 3 that was just so keen to try, and I couldn't wait any longer, so here we are with package number 3. And basically, you guys have heard of the Bologna Bullets, i.e. the factory Ducatis. Take a look at the Noale factory Bullet, i.e. Aprilia RSGP package number 3, with full focus on engine power. Everything is about power with this Aprilia, and this feels great. It feels different. It really, really does. And to have a feeling of such a beast compared to what we had last season, where unfortunately the Aprilia was a little bit slower, but it had the stability, this also comes with another little benefit. Now, it will have its caveats in the sense of it's going to reduce the stability and the manoeuvrability, but it does increase tyre reduction, as in the sense of, that does sound a bit of backwards there, but what I'm trying to say is it actually helps with tyre reduction, and it gives you more power. So we could potentially be running those soft option tyres. Last season the soft option tyres were just a no-go under any circumstances unless it was qualifying. This one, we might be able to get away with a soft tyre. This is going to be rather interesting. I need to see how it works, and already it feels really good. Yes, it doesn't feel great going into the corners, and I feel like I'm on the edge on the sense of braking, but it does feel good. It feels very, very competitive, much more competitive straight away than the other bikes we're feeling, and it's a bit odd because sometimes I don't really feel much of a difference, just the odd little bit here and there, but this feels really good. And if we can save time on those straights that we seem to lose so much time on last time, when we are in a good chance, we have a good shot of improving in those tracks we really, really struggled at. The likes of Qatar and the likes of the long straight on a ref that we used to get eaten alive on. This is going to be rather positive if this works. So I'm very keen. Of course, the braking is still very strong. I'm still very good on the brakes. Probably my best part about MotoGP 21 is my braking. I love braking in MotoGP 21. It really captures the feeling of it. A lot of rear brake and a little bit of front brake is just a perfect combination. So I'm very keen to see how we can get on with this Noale Bullet. I'm going to have to think of a new nickname if we do actually choose package number 3. But I tell you what, it's early days and I've only done 1 lap on it, but I already feel fantastic. And not actually looking in the top right hand corner of your screen and seeing the red sector and that we're up on a couple of tenths of a second, just the feeling alone. I don't mind if it was slower, just as long as it feels good. Package number 2 didn't feel good like I remembered it. Package 1 felt okay, I did quite like it, but package 3 just feels perfect. And if we can save time on those long straights, we could be in for a different season in the sense of being strong at the tracks that we once struggled at. But now onto the left hand side for turn 9, nice and tight to the apex with a decent acceleration. So 2 laps already. You get really pushing, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not taking this easy. I am pushing as hard as possible, and we're doing alright in the sense of tyres. I've seen worse tyres after 1 or 2 laps with a lower sense of power and settings, so pretty confident so far. 2 laps coming in probably within the 159s if we can keep this going. Did lose a lot of time into the third split as expected, as Alex Rins just crashes behind me, but I tell you what, not having the same sense of success as we did with the winter test last season, maybe I'm a little bit rusty, so I'm not going to panic, just sort of focus on the task at hand. Braking into the final corner for turn 15, into the left-hander, nice and tight on the apex, so bring on the acceleration. Much better there. We are going to improve, but not by much, potentially. Across the line we're going to go. It's, no, not quite an improvement. So hopping back over to package number 1. Got to get a good feel for this now and understand what we're actually going to be good at, because this is a decision that's going to last us at least till Catalonia test. So we've got to be smart about this. We've got to try and make it work. We've got to make sense of it first before we make a brash decision. Now, I'm not a one for making brash decisions. I usually tend to stick with my guns and play it safe sometimes. Probably a little bit too safe in the qualifying sessions, hence the reason I've never done too well. But package 1, jumping back onto it, I do like it. It does feel good. But there was something about package 3 I just preferred a little bit more. So this is the focus on stability. Let's see how we compare to package number 2 or 3 really. Package number 2 I think is out of the question, to be quite honest with you. I will include it in the sense of we do have 3 packages to choose from, but package number 2 is kinda already booted off. But this is with the soft option tyres now. Power setting 3, TCS 3, electronics are the same, but with the soft option front and rear. Let's see what we can do on this package, and then we'll compare it to package number 3 with soft front and rear. We're now into the left hand side, going into turn 9, right a little bit deep, and we're going to lose quite a bit of time there. Still in the green as things stand, so we'll see going into the right hander in just a moment as we go quite smooth on the brakes. You see the right hand side of the tyre for both the front and rear getting very, very warm. That rear is getting lit up just ever so slightly. We have to be careful with that one on the acceleration for the next couple of corners. So on the right hand side once again for 13, we did lose time into the right hander. That is annoying. Of course, look how much we're pushing on the front end there. That is good stability though. I was really pushing, braking ever so hard, pushing the front end. It's careful it's going to drop, but thankfully it didn't. We're still on board the motorcycle. Yes, we lost a lot of tyre wear, giving it everything in half going into that corner there, but onto the left hand side we will not improve. That is a disappointing end to this particular test, or at least this particular lap of the test. So across the line we will go. It's no improvement, but let's now move over to package number 3, soft front, hard rear this time, and let's see how that fares us well in this session. So into turn 1, braking very, very firm there. You can see how much effort we were pushing on the brakes, nice and controlled, even considering this is a package that's pretty much a beast compared to what we've just ridden. But onto the right hand side, up by 0.4 of a second, where we're going to be in the sense of sector times compared to the other riders. It's 67,000th of a second ahead of Johan Zarco, is leading the way with a 1:58.103, getting closer to the lap time I set last season in the winter testing. But I'm pretty confident on this lap with this combination of soft and hard combination tyres. Soft front, hard rear should be pretty good in the sense of stability, especially for the hard rear, as the acceleration seems to be where we are struggling on with these motorcycles. Now onto the right hand side, putting that right down easy boot to the floor, nice and tight to the apex. We did lose a 1/10 of a second there, but it's still good. Only 9/10 of a second separate us from Johan Zarco. I didn't even see that bite there, Lord almighty. Just barely caught a glimpse of that as we get on the left hand side now. Oh my goodness, that was been a pretty nice and nifty lap until that part. I don't even know whose bike that was. Of course it was the testing livery, so I had absolutely no idea. It was just a black motorcycle at that point. But onto the right hand side for turn 11, nice and tight to the apex there. Probably one of the most tightest apexes I've ever done in the sense of turn 11 here in Malaysia. But now we're for the 12th corner, getting a little bit out of shape. We're still in the green, so this will be an improvement, but by how much I'm not entirely sure. But now onto the right hand side, losing a bit of time, but bringing acceleration much better with that hard rear. It didn't get too hot, just stayed relatively toasty, just how I like my toast, not too dark, just a little bit of a brown spot on it. But now onto the left hand side for 15, nice and tight to the apex if we can manage it and bring on the acceleration of the beastie package. Here we go then, full acceleration. We will improve, but by how much across the line? It's going to be 8th position for DrAce, for Matt Grant. Not too bad, 0.5 of a second down behind the Frenchman ahead of us. So onto the right hand we'll go for turn 1, still pushing the same way as we were previously, but unfortunately the caveat of the lack of stability means we lost the front going into turn 1. I remember Rossi crashing out here a couple of years ago, absolutely devastating circumstances, as we just quickly run across the track here. I don't want to get in Jack Miller's way, so let him through and then we'll go and pick up the motorcycle and see how the Aprilia is doing. So a quick check on the bike. Oh, it's not looking good. The Aprilia's over. So as we waited for the Aprilia RSGP package number 3 to be fixed, I did a quick lap. It seemed to be quite okay. So this is going to be my final lap here today. I really want to improve on our 0.5 of a second down from Zarco. I'm sure we can. There's some good names in this top 8 right now. Zarco, Miller, Bagnaia, Petrucci, Rossi, and of course Grant in 8th position. And of course the 2 riders behind us, the factory Hondas, a team I did consider possibly jumping ship to, but I've decided to stay with Aprilia for another season, as you know. So now onto the right hand side for turn 4, nice and tight to the apex if we can. Relatively, we went across the rumble strip, but it seemed quite okay. Now not a great lap so far, down by 1/10 of a second as Jack Miller has just crashed and we've been bumped down to 9th position as well. So someone has dethroned us from 8th place. There's Rossi right there in the top 10. Good to see. It makes me happy to see the Valentino Rossi, the doctor, up in the top 10. But now onto the right hand side, still down by 0.3 of a second to Zarco's time, as he is on another terrific lap with 2 red sectors as things stand right now. But we are improving going into the left-hander for turn 9. Maybe this is a bit of a resurgence for the final 2 sectors of today's video. It's now going the right side for turn 10. Do we still have a bit of an advantage going into the right-hander? Nice and tight apex once again for turn 11. Thought it was a bit of a fluke we did it last time, but we did it twice on the bounce. Quite happy with that one as we go onto the left-hand side for turn 12. Turn 13, another right-hander coming up. Let's see how we fare going into the right-hander here. Got to be very careful on the front end. Not as stable as the other one, but I tell you what, it looked pretty planted going in the right-hand side there. Pretty confident stuff right now for the MotoGP World Champion. So let's see how we get on going into the final corner. Be careful on the brakes. Give it a lot of rear brake and a lot of front brake. We ran it a little bit deep, so we will lose time compared if we did a nice tight apex, but bring on the acceleration. It will be an improvement nonetheless, but by how much? Let's find out. Across the line we will go, and it's going to be 5th position for DrAce. So not too bad in total, guys, but those are my lap times, and here you can see package 3 seems to be quite clearly my favourite package. Best sectors in every single time we use package number 3, so I'm pretty convinced that with a 3rd package is what we'll be using for this next season. So guys and gals, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for this amazing season it's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be epic. So thanks for watching, guys, as always. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.